I'm super excited to be here. This is one of my favorite topics, sales and also building a successful sales team. So in terms of an agenda today, I want to take you through a little bit of the Datto APAC journey in terms of building out the sales team that we've done over the last few years. I want to talk a little bit about the motivations of sales reps. I want to talk to you about and share some of the processes that we have implemented, some of the frameworks that we apply when we're looking at hiring, and also what sort of data that we use to help make sure that our sales reps are doing the right sort of things. Just to kick things off, a few months ago, I thought it would be interesting to run a little survey. So I sent the same survey to two groups of people. One was our partner based in Australia, and the other one was my sales reps. Same set of questions that I asked, and I just wanted to compare the differences in results to see if, as a channel partner, whether you think that you're motivating and leading your sales reps in the right way based on what our sales team would be motivated by. The first thing was, what do you think is the primary motivation of a sales rep? Is it recognition, money, achievement, career progression, or something else? Interestingly enough, the results came back a little bit different for each one of them. Partners thought that money was the primary motivator for a sales rep, which meant that they just think that they're complete coin-operated monkeys that you put money in and then they'll dance for you. That's sometimes true, but a lot of the time it's not. Sales reps and the sales reps at our organization actually came back and said achievement is the number one thing that I want as part of my sales role. And in our team and in our business, we have something called President's Club, which is the top achievers get to go off on a nice all-expenses trip at the beginning of the year if you've hit your number. And that's what my sales reps are fighting for over and above commission. So it's really that sense of achievement. So again, when you're looking at hiring a sales rep or you're looking at motivating them, just consider what can you give them as a sense of achievement. The next question was, why will a sales rep be successful? And this was a funny one which we had a chuckle with, because all of the channel partners came back and said, my sales reps will be successful because I've got a really good product to get out there and sell. So if I give them a good product, they'll be really successful at selling. When we asked the reps, what was that? That having a good product to sell didn't really come in the top three at all. They just know that a sales rep, if they work really bloody hard, then they're going to be successful. And they also want to be number one. So again, it's not about the product. It's not about having the best product in the market. A sales rep knows it doesn't matter if it's the best product or not. If you work really hard, you give them a sense of achievement and a sense of purpose, then they're going to be able to go out there and have a bigger chance of being successful. The next one I thought was interesting as well was, why will a sales rep leave an employer? Again, we looked at different metrics here: team culture, management and leadership, money, lack of progression, or they don't feel valued within the organization. Again, the partners thought that money is the main reason that a salesperson will leave that organization. When we looked at the reps, money came in at number 4. So yes, sales reps want to be paid, and they need to be paid the value that they're going to be delivering based on what the market dictates. But management and leadership is the primary reason. If they've got a poor manager, a poor leader, then that is the main reason that they're going to go and look for a job elsewhere. Team culture was up there, and within our business, I'll talk about some of the people that we hire. Progression is super important for us as well. So if you can provide some sort of career progression and sense of development, then that's going to help them to stay motivated and stay with you. We all know that if you hire a sales rep and they don't last, they're not successful, it can be a pretty expensive mistake. So again, don't just focus on money as the pure motivation for sales reps. So just a quick introduction for those that may not know a little bit about the Datto journey. We started off in Australia, in Sydney, which is where I'm based, in August 2015. I was hired. I was effectively a one-man band, and my boss gave me a mandate. He said, go out there, go find some MSPs that we can go and sell to, bring them on board and grow them. And that was my mandate that I was given. Very shortly after that, I looked at what my strengths were, which was certainly not on the technical side. And I went out and hired a sales engineer that could talk tech. I looked at getting another account manager to help me manage these, and also hired a sales development rep to go out and help me generate leads. Because me just sitting there in my living room and not having any leads to work wasn't going to be particularly effective. So I needed to make sure that I had a pod. I had a pod of all of the relevant skills that I needed to go out there and be successful. So this was our pod that we started off with in August 2015. Fast forward a few years, we've grown. We've got north of 65 staff in the business based out in Australia. We've opened up a Singapore office now, and we've actually got 1,200 partners, channel partners in Australia, and we've got about 150 in Southeast Asia at the moment. So like, we're pretty proud of this success that we've had. We've brought on a lot of partners, and we've grown our monthly recurring revenue substantially in that time period as well. So a lot of this is, yes, we've got a great product, but a lot of it is actually down to the structure and the process that we put in place. So I guess I want you to think about, sales. Why would you want to hire salespeople in the first place? Because there are a different role and objective for salespeople. And as an MSP, what is your goal and what is your vision? What are you guys looking to achieve? Are you looking to grow customers? Are you looking to bring on new customers? Are you looking to get more revenue out of your existing customer base? So could that be cross-sell and upsell? Are you looking to grow market share? Perhaps you want to go in with a low-cost solution to grab market share and then look to add value down the line. Maybe it's your brand. Are you running a lifestyle business? Do you have an exit strategy? There's a lot of mergers and acquisitions. So based on what your goals and your vision is for your business is really going to dictate the sort of sales people that you're going to be bringing into your organization. So there's three core sales functions in our business, and I think that this is pretty similar across most industries and businesses as well. You've got to go out, you've got to generate leads, you've got to close them, and then you've got to grow those customers. Okay, so this is how we actually build our sales business at Datto, but I also think that this is how you should be looking to structure your own sales business within your organization as well. So let's go through and understand, we're beginning to think about what our goals and our objectives are. We want to go through a process of interviewing some salespeople to bring them on board. So I want to talk a little bit about the interview, because the interview, like, I struggled when I started. I didn't know what I was doing. I just brought people in, and people told me they were amazing at sales and I should give them a job. And I tried that once or twice and it didn't necessarily work. So I learned through this process about like what was important for us. And we built a framework. And I'm happy to share this framework in a bit more detail. If you want, just email me at the end and I will give you the framework that we use for hiring. But this is super important for us, and it helps to ensure that we get the right sort of personality and the right personality traits in. So this is what we look for in a hiring process. We look for IQ, intelligence. I want bright people in my organization. It means that they can learn quickly. Even if they don't know the product or the solution today, they can learn it quickly if they're smart. Emotional intelligence. How good is this person at building up rapport? Drive. So I want someone to be really driven. I want to see passion in their eyes. I want to see it coming across in their voice. I want to see their body language. I don't want them to verbally tell me that they're driven. I want to see them get excited about something, because that means that they'll be able to get excited about the solutions that I'm taking to market as well. Coachability is something that's important. I don't want someone that thinks they know everything. I want someone that says, teach me, tell me everything that you know, and I'll apply that to my own business, and I'll go out there and be successful. But I know that I'm not the polished article, but I'm willing to learn. And that's something which we believe is super important, particularly in technology where it's evolving. You need to make sure that someone is willing to adapt the way they work today. Inquisition relates to how good their questions are. If they ask me good questions and they're inquiring about my business and how we operate, then that's a good sign that they're going to be asking my customers good questions. They're going to be uncovering pain points. So the more questions you ask, the more you actually can shut up and just listen to the conversation and the points that your customers or prospects are talking about. And then finally is culture fit. We need to make sure that everyone is aligned. There's been one or two people we've brought into the organization and they haven't fit in with everyone else. And the other people in the organization, in the sales team, I watch the behavior and they actually get a bit disgruntled and it actually affects the overall culture. So we actually have to move quickly and get them out of the business. And actually what we do when we bring new people on, just before we hire them, we introduce them to the other team. We take them out and we put a couple of them to go and have coffee. And there's an overarching feeling that we call it the tribe has spoken. If a few of the team come back and actually say, I don't like this guy, there's something about him I just didn't like, then we really take that feedback on board because the cultural fit is super important for us. So we've gone through a process, we've gone through an interviewing process, we're looking at bringing a new salesperson on board. I want you to go back and think, again, what is your goal? Are you looking to generate leads? Or are you looking to work in a complete new business sales cycle? Or are you looking to just account manage? This is our marketing and sales funnel at Datto. So for us, our business, we know that we need to have 160 unqualified leads to get one single deal at the bottom. Okay, so this is a little bit scientific. These are ratios. We know that if we have 160 leads, we will most likely convert 15% of them into being interested in having a conversation at the next level. So this is what our ratios are. This may be different for your business, but these are really the different stages of a sales and marketing funnel, and you should understand this for your own business. And over the next 3 to 6 months is just monitor this. Because if you know that it takes you maybe 100 leads to get one customer, then that's what you should be doing from a lead generation perspective, is make sure that these metrics apply and ratios apply to your business. So again, our business is about lead generation. We have a team of we call them sales development reps that just look for leads. They go onto Google Maps and they type in IT support companies in Victoria, in Melbourne, or in Manila, Kuala Lumpur, and then they get a list on Google Maps. So this is the sort of work that these guys do, and you can take that to your business if you're selling to accountants or if you're selling to medical firms or engineers. That's a really easy way for you to go out there and generate leads. But this is what our team do. We have a team of 6 or 7 of these guys and girls that just literally spend their time looking for appointments, and they phone them up and they book appointments for the new business team. The new business team work the end-to-end cycle. They get a warm lead, and then they take that appointment and they work it through the entire sales cycle. We don't want our hunters, which are a more expensive resource, to be doing the lead generation. We want to put that more low-level work with some of the low-costing resources in the business. And then as soon as we close a particular new partner, we then can pass that across to an account manager that will work with them to help grow that business for the next year or so. And they do the upselling and cross-selling. So I thought it might be interesting just to show you a couple of the members of my team, so you can get a little bit of insight into the sort of profile of who they are, how old they are, what are their motivations, etc. So this is Asher. Asher's graduated this year from university. He's motivated by, and I asked them questions. I sent them a survey as well. I said, what are you motivated by, and how do you like to be managed? And it was interesting because it helped me to do my job better as well. He said, I want to be successful. I want to prove myself that I can do this, I can win, I can be number one. And I also do want to make money as well. I said, how do you want to be managed? He said, don't micromanage me. Give me feedback. So again, that's the piece of coachability. He said, give me feedback talk to me about how I can improve. And just trust me. Just let me go and trust me. And if I mess up, then let me know, and I'll adapt that. So he's actually been so successful, we've just promoted him. But he was booking approximately 5 appointments per day, and he was the first one in the office, and he was the last one to leave every single day. Again, that's that hard work. It's that drive that he had. And again, if you see at the top, he's super smart. He's got that ability to build rapport with everyone. He's driven, he's coachable, he's a great cultural fit. The guys in the team love working with him because he just adds so much value. This is how we manage our sales development reps, and this is the KPIs, the key performance indicators, for what we set our sales development reps to do. We expect them every single day to make 80 calls. We know that if they make 80 calls, they will book 3 appointments. We know that about 25% of those will actually convert into a closed sale. So on a weekly basis, they make 400 dials. On a monthly, they're making 600 dials. They'll book 60 appointments per month. 40 of them will actually show up. So about 1/3 maybe won't actually show up to the appointment. And of the ones that do show up, we know we'll close about 25%. So this is the maths behind it. We just know that if we can monitor and manage these reps to deliver this sort of output, then we will get the business off the back of it. I'll introduce you to Lauren next. So Lauren was the first hire for me in terms of a sales development rep. She did all the cold calling, the appointment setting, the event setup, scheduling. She kind of kept me in line and made sure I got on the plane as well, so she was quite handy for me. She has been promoted twice because she's done a lot over the last 4 years, but she's motivated by being the best at what she does. She wants to celebrate the wins. She's all about the team. This is a team effort. We're on this mission together. I want to make sure that we can win together. And she wants to learn. Again, super coachable, which is teach me. Don't tell me what I'm doing good. Just tell me what I can do better. And that's the sort of profile that I'm looking for. And these are the sort of things that I'm looking for in the interviews as well. So again, when she came on board, she didn't know anything about IT, the MSP channel, the industry, but she had those traits, which means she could pick it up. She had the desire and intelligence to pick it up quickly, and she's added a tremendous amount of value in the team. Again, she wants mentorship, and she wants to be kept accountable. So if she says she's going to do something and doesn't, then she wants you to call her out on it and make sure that she does go and do that. So Lauren is a hunter now, so she's responsible for bringing new channel partners into the Datto ecosystem. So this is now Datto partners that are going to be working with us on a monthly basis. And these are their metrics. We say you've got to complete 10 appointments per week. And this is a magic number that I think we can apply across the industry. Your sales reps should be doing 10 good quality appointments per week, which means that they're doing 40 appointments per month on a 25% close ratio, which again I think is a really good industry average. They're going to be closing 10 new deals per month. So this is the science behind how we manage our sales reps, and this actually works really, really well for us. The next thing that I want to just share with you, and this is a term that we use in the office quite a lot, is inspect what you expect. If you expect your sales rep to do these appointments, inspect whether they have done it. Because a lot of the time that they won't. A phone call comes in, but you need to hold them accountable. Also, after you go through a hiring process and you bring on a new sales rep, this will identify whether they're successful. If you can see what sort of work they're doing or what sort of work they're not doing, this will give you early indication in terms of, is this someone that I want to keep in my business, or is this someone that I want to exit in my business pretty quickly? We've actually had to get rid of a couple of sales reps. Our record is day 8. So 2 of them have gone on day 8 because they just didn't actually do the right sort of activity early on. And it took us a while to get to that maturity where we had to pull the trigger quickly. But this is the sort of thing, if you inspect what they're doing on a daily, weekly basis, again, not in a micromanagement perspective, but just make sure you keep an eye on it. It will help you to identify issues. And it also motivates the rep to know that you do care about what they're doing. And again, that was what the sales reps were talking about as well. Another fun way in which we inspect what we're doing and we hold the reps accountable is we have what is known as the what. And you might be asking what the what is. The what is the window of truth. So this is our office, and we write down, and we'll do forecasting on a weekly basis, and we will write down what accounts and opportunities we're working on, what revenue we're looking to bring in from each of those different accounts or those different reps, and it goes on the board in front of everyone. We used to have a board, it was called the Board of Truth. Now we've got windows, so we just write it down. And this is a fun way to keep everyone accountable. If it goes on the window of truth, then that's the truth, that's coming in. So they put themselves out there, they commit to it, and they commit to it in front of their friends and their colleagues as well. And it just helps us to inspect whether they've done that or not. And if they tell their friends they're going to do something, then they don't want to let them down. So this is something which we do just as a fun way to inspect what our reps are doing. We also celebrate quite a bit, so we do team prizes. We'll go out for team dinners, we'll go bowling together, we'll go for meals, we'll go for weekends away. We've been skiing in Australia, where we've all hit team numbers as well. We've got a bell, a sales bell, that if we have any good deals that come in, we'll ring the bell. And something else that we do as well, we do the occasional spiff, which is a sales incentive. So if you're looking to drive sales in a particular area for a particular quarter or time period, you can put an extra incentive in place for them to actually hit a goal by a certain time frame. And this is something that could just provide an extra addition or injection of work to help them drive a particular behavior. So this is one that we did at the end of quarter, 2 quarters ago. And for every deal, and what we did is we had 4 envelopes up on the window, and one envelope had $1,000 in, one had 500, one had 250, and one had a little note that said, "Thanks for doing your job." And no one knew what envelope had what in it. But what they would do is every deal they would get in, they would get to write their name under an envelope. And then the next person that got a deal in, they would cross their name off and they'd put their name underneath that. And it meant at the end of the quarter, the person whose name was right down at the bottom here got to open the envelope and see what prize they won. So it was just a fun way of keeping people accountable, giving them an opportunity to make a little bit more money, and doing it in a fun way that everyone can watch as well. So in terms of what should you be inspecting as an IT company, as a system integrator, as a managed service provider, and you're looking at growing your sales team, this is the sort of thing that we look to inspect on a daily, weekly basis. And we use Salesforce as our CRM system. There's other solutions out there. There's other sales, there's the solutions, Autotask, ConnectWise, Sugar CRM that you can use. But we look at how much pipeline, so how many opportunities have my sales rep added every single week. And this is the sort of information that you will be able to see if they're doing any work or not. So we can run a report and see how many opportunities in both value and volume have they added every single week. So this is something I would encourage you to do with your own sales rep, is just have a look. If you don't know, then this will, again, it will give you an indication of what they're doing. So quality and quantity, how many deals and how big are those deals? Something else which is important is the health of the pipeline. If we've got lots of really old opportunities in there, from a numbers perspective, it looks like they've got a really good pipeline, but they're actually not very good opportunities. So I look at the age of the opportunities, and I look at how many meetings each of the sales reps is doing each week. And then finally, a really useful tool that, again, I encourage you to take away and try this with your sales team is BANT. BANT is an acronym that stands for Budget, Authority, Need, and Time Frame. So you should ask your sales team, your sales reps, the person you're speaking to for this opportunity, have you spoken to them about the budget, the cost of this solution that we're selling? Do you know if they can afford it? Are you speaking to the CEO or are you speaking to the IT manager? Can the person that you're speaking to that says they like it sign off on it or not? So this is an important one which we've learned, where sometimes we'll be speaking to the person that cannot actually sign off. They're the service delivery manager, they're not the person that can actually say yes though. They can say no but not yes. What's the need for our solution as well? Why are they going to buy this new IoT solution that we're selling? And then what is the time frame? Again, this is an important question because I want to know when are the deals coming in on a weekly and monthly basis. So you should be encouraging your sales team to actually ask the customer, when would you like to get this done? And then you can begin to actually put an incentive in place to meet your own timeframes as well. So this is a really simple tool that you can take away and start asking your own sales team. Managing versus leading. So what we've talked about is how we manage our sales reps. And for me, managing is about data. It's about you manage metrics. I want to ask you guys here, what do you think sales management is? Do you think it is a science or an art? Who thinks it's a science? A few hands. Who thinks it's an art? Quite a few hands there as well. So I think you're both right. I think it's both a science and an art. Okay? I think that the science is the management piece. It's about facts, it's about data, metrics, it's a business plan, it's tangible, it's black and white. It's a sales process. You have step 1, step 2, step 3. There's not a lot of deviation from that. But then on the art, this is the leadership. If you look at what the motivations were of my sales reps, they were motivated by achievement. They were motivated by being a sense of being a part of a team or winning with the team. So you've got to think from a leadership perspective is what are you putting in place to make these sales reps feel special? So again, they were motivated by career growth and learning, making an impact, being number one. So that's the leadership piece, is manage the numbers and then think, how can I motivate my sales rep to go out there and perform at a higher level? So what we try to do is give them a purpose that's bigger than their job. We make them part of this big mission that we're on. We're looking to go off and achieve great things, and they're a part of that mission, and make it super meaningful. So these are some of the management leadership things that we've done to get the business to where it is today. I just want to spend the next 5 minutes or so talking about the lessons that we've learned as we begin to move into 2020, as we all are finishing up 2019. What's the success that we've had, and what are we going to do a little bit differently? And I asked some of our partners, I sent a survey out in Australia, and I asked some questions to our partner base. What were your biggest challenges in 2019? The biggest challenges for our partners were articulating value and bringing new customers on. So I don't know how that sits with your business, but this is what the survey results were showing. So bringing new customers on and articulating value. What activities are you going to do in 2020 is what I asked our partners to help you be more successful. And the overarching theme was that they're going to introduce a sales process. And I love that because that's what I believe is a key to success. You put a sales process in place and then you manage it. And then also we're going to invest in sales training because we're IT guys, we don't know how to sell. We're going to leverage those that are experts as well. So I thought that was interesting from our partner base of what they're going to be doing a little bit differently. This is what we're going to be focusing on next year, just to make some tactical changes and adjustments. We're going to do some things a bit differently on our new business team. Our account management team, we're going to hire a little bit differently this next year because it's super hard to find good salespeople for a good price in Australia, and I'm sure it's the same in this market as well. We're starting to use data a lot more to make decisions, and particularly as we're beginning to scale, then that's actually going to help us to grow the business more successfully. And we're going to be doing more partner enablement as well. So that's the training piece. So again, we're a little bit aligned with what our partners are thinking as well. So I asked my sales managers, I said, what are you guys going to be doing differently this year? And the challenge that we had is we had gray. We had multiple reps in the same territory, which meant that the reps were fighting over accounts, or the reps were not phoning someone because there was a note from another rep in there. So we want to be black and white. This is yours, this is not yours, as an example. For territories, comp plans, your commission plan needs to be very simple and straightforward. We're going to start working more effectively with marketing and business development. We're going to double down. So rather than sales working in a silo, we're going to work more closely with marketing. We're going to work more closely with our business development events team. And again, we've got gut feelings, but we've gone from being small and being able to work on a gut to being larger and struggling to work on gut feelings. So you're just using data. And we're also looking at new ways to open doors. Reese is responsible for bringing new channel partners in, and we're struggling to find good MSPs that want to speak to us. So we're looking for new ways in which we can do that. On the account management side, data has popped up again from these two sales managers as well. Inspect what you expect. We expect our reps should be doing this activity, but we don't inspect whether they've done it. So they get lazy. Sales reps do get lazy if you don't actually hold them accountable. We're going to be doing more effective one-to-ones. Again, that's where we can actually inspect what they've been doing. And travel efficiency. I thought this was a good one from Tom, who's here today. He found some of his reps when he started to inspect what they were doing. They were flying during the day as opposed to after hours, which meant that they lost 4 hours of a working day where they could be working. So what Tom's doing is he's putting management in place to say, if you fly to another state, you fly internationally, then you do that out of business hours so that we can maximize the time that we're actually working. So these are some of the adjustments that we're beginning to make. We're reflecting. We've also hired a business operations manager. And this is what Adam said. He said, data doesn't lie. It validates whether your gut feeling is correct. And Adam has been brought in to help us scale the business and to grow our business and our partner's business. But this is what he's looking at. And he's just in spreadsheets all day. He's looking at spreadsheets and comp plans and territories. And he's using all of this data to help us grow. Comp plans, and we're looking at running sales promotions. Has this got a good ROI, et cetera? Something we've struggled with as well is hiring. I don't know if anyone else struggles with hiring salespeople, but they're very expensive. So it's really hot, the market in Sydney, which means that we sometimes have sales reps that want silly amounts of money. So they're working in the IT industry, they've got lots of experience. Maybe they're good, maybe they're not, but it's really difficult. So Amy has been hired by our team to do just pure recruitment. So we don't pay the recruiting fees anymore because we're hiring that many people. But Amy's really focused on hiring for potential. So we look at where could this person be in our business in 2 years' time? So that maybe what we'll do is they may be worth $300,000, but they won't know it yet because we bring them in and we train them up, and then we actually are able to get them in at a much lower rate than that moving forward. Leveraging our own networks. This is an interesting one as well, looking further afield. So Amy's now reaching out we're based in Sydney. She's reaching out to people in Brisbane, in Perth, in Melbourne, and offering them a relocation package to come to Sydney because they're not used to getting paid the high rates. So potentially that's something that you could consider as well. And also we're looking at different industries. We're not just looking in the IT industry. We're looking for those profiles. So we're looking in like the pharma industry, pharmaceutical as an example. We're also investing heavily in training because we're not hiring super experienced people, but we're backing that up by lots of training. And then building your brand on things like social media, LinkedIn, etc. So in terms of our key activities for 2020 sales success, this is what I would encourage you to do is implement a sales process. Begin to use data to make decisions. So start to use systems and tools and get reports that can give you data about whether you're actually driving the business in the right direction. Do invest in sales training. And just in closing, use a framework to hire people. If you would like that framework I talked about, then feel free to email me. Manage your business, manage the metrics, and lead your people. So with that, thank you very much for your time.